fee. So if you are setting up a wiki, a free wiki that you can set up, that page level only will not be available. You will actually have to pay a premium or have a premium account to do that. But beyond that, it has most of the features that you will need to use. Okay, so very quick overview of users. We'll go back to it as well later on. And there's also settings that I can click on. And in the settings, you can change colors, you can add your logo, you can also export the content. So if I created a home page and I like it and I'm not sure what's going to happen, maybe there will be no internet, but I want to have that page available, you can click export and the system will send you a zip file that you can open at home, and it's going to be HTML page. And the reason it's HTML page is because you're creating this page online. So the system doesn't know if it's a Word or Excel or anything, so it creates HTML. But many of you should know or would know that you can open files in your computer browser without actually having access to the internet. You can still open pages if you have them saved. So it will give you that content access anyway. You can set the time, keyboard language, and what's the contact email. Sometimes you may want to give it 1 or 2 emails, but basically this way the system will send you updated information if somebody is making comments or posting something on the wiki. Okay? So that's the navigation of the 4 items on the top. Let me go back to the home page. And again, I'm looking at the full content of the home page with the history, with all the content I'm giving you for the session. I want to quickly go through the right side. And in the right side, you will see you can create a page. As I said, think of wikis as many different pages you can create. So that's a tool to create more pages and organize them. You can upload files if you want to work with a specific document, and I'll show you a quick shortcut how to do it outside of this. And you can invite more people. If you look at the navigation on the top, the ones we just went through, some of those allow you to do the same thing. It's just trying to give you shortcuts for more information. There's also an option to share this page, and I'll click on that to give you an idea. So let's say I wrote a page of content. Let's say it's my new article for the newsletter, and I want somebody else to read it. If they have access to this wiki, and they have to have access to this wiki before you do that, if they have access to this wiki, you can just go in and type in the name. I'm going to see if I can do the user, probably not. But if they were added to this, you can type in their email address, and the system will allow you to send a quick email to them with a link to this specific page, and you can send them a message. You can say whatever you want. For example, I just wrote this newsletter article. Please review it and send me comments. And it will send an email to the person you're trying to contact with a link to that specific page. This way, the person that's getting the information doesn't have to be checking if you made any changes on this wiki, if you updated it, or if you added something new. You can be proactive and send them an update and let them know, okay, I have added this page, I have made changes to this page, please check it. And I'll give you an example. At Alpha Plus, we issue monthly newsletters. And the way I work on it is actually I use wikis as well. I compile all my content in the wiki, all different articles and sections I may want to include in my newsletter, and when I'm done, I send it off to my editor. And I just send that email through this feature. I put in her address and say, I have all this content, please review it. She goes into the wiki, reviews the content, makes the changes, sends me either a regular email or through that an email saying I'm done. And there is no transfer of files through email. We are not getting lost of any information. It just works. It's fantastic, and it really simplifies things for us. Put this page in a folder. You can organize different files. You can add tags, which I don't use very often, but some of you may decide to do that. There's control access to this page. You could lock a page if you want, but again, that's a premium feature which we usually don't use. And you can also copy this page. What that means is, let's say I'm trying to create multiple pages that have the same content. I can just go in, click on that link, and it will ask me what's the new name of the page, and it will create a copy of it and save it for me. So it's much easier rather than me going and pasting the content into each and every new page I'm trying to create. And actually, I use that to create the pages for you to practice with. That's what I did. I used that, create a copy. The navigator section can be a bit confusing, but what it basically is, it tries to give you access to all the pages and files that you may want to work with. When you set up your Wiki account, it comes with examples of the kinds of pages you may want to set up. For example, you will see that there's a meeting agenda, course, blank page. That's something that comes with the Wiki. It's like templates that come with the Word document. They try to give you the templates that you can work with. You can choose to delete all of them and not to work with them, but they try to give you some of the examples of how you could be using the Wiki. And you will see that I can see pages, and files. So remember I told you that the system treats them differently? That's the pages that could be created in a wiki. And if I click on files, it's going to give me a list of files that I have uploaded into this wiki already. Okay? Sidebar, a section to put a message or to put links to different pages. You could choose to use a sidebar as your index. So this way your front page could be indexed or your sidebar could be an index. And this way you can navigate and showcase or provide quick links to information. In this case, I just put a brief introduction and I put a logo in it. The way editing of the sidebar works, I'll show you. Basically the same way a regular page would work. It treats this as a page. When I click to edit it, it opens editing page where I can go in and change the content. So I'll do it soon. I just want to quickly give you another overview. There's also share this workspace shortcut. Those are shortcuts. You don't have to use them. But if you're working on something and then you're thinking, you know what, I think Leslie maybe you should take a look at it. You can add her email here and the system will automatically send her an invitation to come and join the workspace. And finally, there is recent activity where you can see all the changes I have been doing. You can sort of hide it. All those boxes have this tiny arrow. If I click on it, it will just close it. So if I decide to have it very, very clean, what I could do, I can just close all those icons. Just hide them. Okay? So basically, you can open or close them through the arrows as well. Do we have a question?
No, well, yeah, I guess
okay.
About the how to share a page with somebody. Is that because you're logged in as an admin for this?
Yes.
Account?
Yes.
Yeah. We don't have.
No, you have to be logged in. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So, what's next? The next thing I want to show you is basically the feature of editing different pages and working with the documents here. So, as I'm looking at the front page here, you will notice I'm in the view mode. So I'm viewing the page and the full content. When you're logged in, at any time you can click on the edit mode, and that opens edit taskbar. You will see you have bolding, underline, and all kinds of different tools. And the small sheet I gave you with the username and password, that's where I will want you to go in and play with it and practice a bit more. But basically now I can go in and make changes to my front page. I can go in, select the image that I have, I can just basically delete it if I like. If I hit save, the image is gone. If I want to bring it back, I can add it as well. I can add text, images, files, videos, whatever you can think of, you can add here. So the basic feature of wikis, pages that you can edit and save. It could be you as administrator or other people coming in and having access to that wiki. Okay? All right. So I'm going to bring back and do the image, and I'm going to save it. You will see I can save or save and continue. If I hit save, it's going to close the editor and take me back to view. If I hit save and continue, it's going to keep me here in the editing mode, but it's going to save the changes I just made. So as you're working on different content and adding information, it's always good to hit save and continue. In case you lose internet connection or something happens, that content will be saved because you're saving as you're going through the process. Okay? So, view, edit, and save. That's one of those things that makes it very easy to understand a wiki for me. You go in, you view the page, you edit to make the changes, and you hit save to save the changes. Do I have any questions? Are we okay so far? All right. The content that I gave you on the front page, I'm not going to play the video. We don't have too much time. You can always go back and review it later. There are different features, as I said. It could be private or public. There's all kinds of things you can do with the pages. And there's all kinds of terminology. So the wiki, Hawaiian word for fast, but some people actually backronym it and actually call it what I know is. What I know is wiki. Wiki page. The pages we have been looking at, one of them was basically a wiki page. You will have a multitude of pages. And actually for Alpha Plus, we have a wiki account, over 200 pages so far. And we continue adding. And we use our wiki for different purposes. I'll quickly show you. There's something called Wiki Farm. A wiki farm is an organization or service provider that hosts all kinds of wikis, and they call them wiki farms. And workspaces. Workspaces is something I want to show you. So I went through navigation with the wiki, pages and files, users and settings, but there is a small navigation just above that. And you will see there's something called workspaces. If I drop down the menu, you will see it's giving me a few examples, and then it says there are 13 in total. If I click on it, it takes me to the list of workspaces. Remember how I told you that one email sets up an account in a wiki, and then all the wikis, the new wikis that you create or you join, become part of your account? That's the wikis that exist under my username, under M. Jankowska. So you will see some of them on the right side have empty space or will have leave this workspace. Who can tell me what's the difference? Any ideas? No? If there is nothing here, it means I created it. If there is leave this workspace, it means somebody else created it and I joined it. So just by that, it will tell you how much editing you can do. Because very often other users will give you access to the wiki, but they may not give you editing rights. And by leave this workspace, sometimes when you're navigating through many wikis, you can get lost. What kind of access do I have to it? This can tell you, okay, that's not my wiki. Maybe that's why I cannot make the changes. Or maybe, I should ask for access. That gives you some indication. Now, when you log into your wiki account, when you create your wiki account, the system, through the process of setting up an account, will ask you to create your very first wiki or your very first workspace. It will do it automatically. You cannot create really a PBWorks account without creating your own workspace, because the system wants to take your email address and assign a workspace for you. That will be the very first time. When people invite you to join wikis, those wikis or the workspaces will be just added underneath as a list, and then you can navigate between back and forth. So what's nice about that, if I go back to the workspaces thing, the drop-down menu makes it easy for me to just navigate back and forth between different wikis. So rather than me having to log out and log in and log out and log in, I can just go to other wikis. So what I want to show you is a few wikis that I know of that are using the literacy field for different purposes. And I'll go back to the full list because they're not in my quick drop-down. And one of them will be a wiki for Toronto District School Board, LBS program. They have been using wikis for a long time now, and they use it for a very specific purpose. When you look at their page, and just so you know, you cannot access this page because it's a private wiki. The only way I access them because they gave me permission and it's sitting in my list of wikis I can have access to. But what they have done is they have used their front page, where I have the content, they just put in the information, and they use the sidebar as shortcuts to all kinds of different information. So you will see they have contents at a glance. And they basically took this sidebar and created an index or access to different sections of the wiki to make it simpler, to make it easy to use and navigate. Now, most of the time, what they use it for is to share demonstrations. And I'm going to click on one of them. It's a basic page where they list demonstrations. But what do you see at the end of the link? You see .doc. What they do is actually put in Word document files directly in that wiki. So the teachers who need a demonstration, they can come here, they can access this wiki, save it on their computer or just open on their computer, print it out if they want to. If they want to make maybe small changes because they have a student that they want to make some adaptation of the document or content, they can come in and make those changes and use it within their classroom. They told me when they were creating the wiki that they had teachers all over different parts of the city, and they could not figure out what's the latest demonstration, what's accepted, what's not. This way, Wiki gave them space to share all this information without having to go through their webmaster, which sometimes, especially in school boards, sometimes can be very difficult and cumbersome. So this way they have access to all this content, they can go in at any time because that wiki is accessible from anywhere, make changes, add content and information. So you will see as I go through different demonstrations, they basically list all the documents in a wiki. And this way, they don't have to be sending it back and forth by email. They don't have to worry that they don't have access to it. It's always online. They have access to it. They also share some of the information and resources on other things. For example, they had Professional Development Day, and they put the content and information on the wiki as well. They just use it as content transfer, information sharing. And you will see all kinds of links, a link to the registration flyer. Makes it so easy for them. It's like a website for them that they can share with the teachers they're working with. They don't have to worry about going back and forth. They give the teacher access to this wiki and the teacher then goes in and then just explores the information. So much easier. Now, as I said, you don't have access to this wiki, but when you ask for permission, they will give you the access. So if any of you are interested in learning more, let me know.